Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am here today at South Cumberland State Park here in South and a little to the east Tennessee. This is what Tennessee is all about. Mountain streams, backcountry hiking and camping, waterfalls, and the beautiful Appalachian Mountains and Cumberland Mountain Plateau. So join me today. I'm going to be showing you all around the park, everything there is to do, to see if this is a good place for you to visit with your family. And stay to the end because I'm going to share a score between 0 and 100, and you can see where it lines up with other Tennessee state parks on my adventure to visit them all. So come along for the journey today, and remember that God's creation is meant to be explored. Welcome to Tennessee's only linear state park, which means it runs in a line over 3 counties and gives you the opportunity to see so much unique and distinct natural beauty. And in my opinion, I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't get any better. From mountain streams to the mountains themselves, waterfalls, and everywhere in between, the natural beauty and wildlife, in my opinion, really proclaims the glory of our Creator in Jesus. And so I'm going to give natural beauty a perfect 10 out of 10 score. This is just like heaven. One of the ways I judge how good a state park is if I miss out on something, how willing would I be to go back to experience that thing? Well, I can tell you I am so sad that I didn't get to backcountry camp at South Cumberland, and I have to go back to experience that. But I did get to see the campgrounds, and they were very nice. I loved how they were laid out. Everything was flat and open, lots of space between the trees, everything you would need to do camping. So I'm going to give campsite layout a 9 out of 10. As I said before, this is a linear park, so there's multiple welcome centers, multiple day use area places for you to take a little hike, enjoy some time with your family. They had an aviary at the south one that I went to. Additionally, they had all of your normal day activity things like swings for the kids, places to have picnics or to grill out some hot dogs at lunch. They had playground and tennis courts and everywhere in between. So lots of just day stuff to do if you're at one of the welcome centers. Remember, kids, it's Tennessee state law that if you're under the age of 15 and riding your bicycle inside a tennis court, you have to wear a helmet. But in my opinion, the real fun happens when you get off the beaten path a little bit and get to explore God's creation. Like this awesome overhanging cave that my kids were a little afraid to get under, but enjoyed it. There's also a lot of hiking opportunities, backcountry camping when you get back there, rock climbing, spelunking, everywhere in between, and lots of photo opportunities. So here's a great picture that we got there at one of the waterfalls, and I just got to tell you, there were so many wonderful waterfalls. This was the highlight of my trip to this part of Tennessee. The water was ice cold, it was beautiful and perfect. It doesn't get any better, so I'm going to give activities a 16 out of 20. Up next is restrooms, and they were a little outdated but perfectly serviceable, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Next is drivability, and this was a little hard for me to judge just because it was so stretched out, but I guess that means it's pretty easy to get to, even though it's a little out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to give drivability an 8 out of 10. Next is the staff. We went to one of the welcome centers and they were completely shut down because of a staff in-service training, which I thought was very weird, but we did run into someone who worked there and she did give us some helpful advice and a map, so I'm going to give staff a 6 out of 10. Next is nearby amenities, kind of random. I felt like it was a little off the beaten path, so not too much nearby, but some things, and it gets a 6 out of 10. For uniqueness, it gets a perfect 10 out of 10 score because I thought it was so unique, being stretched out over so much of Tennessee and giving you so much to see and do. Cost was very reasonable, a great value for what you get, and it gets an 8 out of 10. You put everything together, and South Cumberland State Park gets an 80 out of 100. And if you know much about my reviews, you know it is very hard to get into the 80s, so great job, and we'll see you on the next one.